How to find rest for your souls. Are you feeling burdened and unable to de-stress? Do you sometimes feel that you're responsible for everything and everyone? That's me sometimes. Nowadays, doctors and scientists are blaming more and more diseases on stress. This morning, my attention was caught by the testimony of a slim, elegant woman who said that she had struggled for a weight problem for many years. She tried everything she could think of, diets and different therapies, until she discovered that the culprit is stress, she said. When a body is constantly stressed, the body goes into survival mode apparently, and so it just holds on to those extra pounds. So we all want to de-stress, but how to do it? Jesus, who knows us through and through, tells us just what we need to do. So let's listen to his words. A reading from the Gospel of St. Matthew. At that time Jesus said, I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and the intelligent, and have revealed them to little children. Yea, Father, for such was your gracious will. Let's just reflect on these two verses first. Jesus thanked his Father for hiding God's mysteries from some people and showing them to others. So from whom does God hide his mysteries? According to Jesus' prayer, from the wise and intelligent. And to whom does he show them? Jesus said, to little children. Now, does that sound unjust? Do you think God is kind to some people and mean to others? Or he doesn't want us to use our brains? Of course not. So what is Jesus saying? What does this mean? There are some people who are not able to receive God's message because of pride. Many of the religious leaders in those days were like that. So it's like, I know it all. I'm perfect. And so we just can't accept God into our lives. And what about the people who can hear? In Jesus' time also, there were people who were like little children, even if they were not children. So they had the attitude of children. I need help. Please help me. And these are the ones who were able to receive God. Proverbs 3:34 says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So now Jesus' message changes a little bit, but still it's carrying the same main theme. So let's read. Jesus continued, come to me, all you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden light. The word of the Lord. So let's think about these very important words. Whom did Jesus invite to come to him? This is his first instruction. Come to me. Those who are carrying labor and carrying heavy burdens. Now, what are the burdens that people carry? What are the things that pull us down, make us stressed? Anger, anxiety, worry, unforgiveness, resentment, fear, sin, and especially the sin of pride. Okay, let's think about this. And Jesus said the second instruction was, learn from me. Come to me, learn from me. What did he ask us to learn from him? To be gentle and humble of heart. Just think about this from other parts of Jesus' life. Can you remember another time when Jesus did something and said, "Learn from me"? At the Last Supper, he washed the apostles' feet and then he said, "Do the same. I've done it, now you also do this." There was another time when the apostles were arguing about who was the greatest. And what did Jesus say and do then? He placed a child before them and he said, "Be like this child. Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." And what's the promise for all those who come to him and learn from him? He says, "I will give you rest." Would you like to be in that little girl's place? It's possible. One more point, Jesus invited the people to come and to learn, but he also said to do something else. What was that? Something connected to bulls. He said, "Take my yoke upon you." So a yoke is a wooden beam that a farmer may put on his bulls as they plow the field or pull a cart. And Jesus took the yoke of being humble and gentle. He took the yoke of the cross on his shoulders, and he invited us to join him. So to be the other bull pulling along with him. It's difficult to be humble, but Jesus promised that the yoke would be light because Jesus is carrying most of the load. I'd like to share one time when I was feeling very burdened and stressed. This was way back when my eldest daughter was in kindergarten. And one day she came home and said, "Teacher said you have to make a trick rider inside a globe. This is for our circus project." And she said, "Teacher said if you don't do it, I will lose 5 marks in my exam." And my blood boiled and I said, why should parents have to make projects so that the children get marks? And is this ethical? How can I make a model with 2 babies on my hands? And where am I going to get a transparent globe? And I kept getting more and more stressed. And then one day I read in the gospel, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." And I said, "Yes, Lord, that's me. I'm so weary. Take it away. Give me rest." But then the Lord nudged me to read on. And I read, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." And that was not so welcome. I said, "Really, Lord? Are you asking me to stop being angry and just do what the teacher's saying?" I got no answer, but I knew what he was saying. So I said, "Okay, Lord, you win. I do want to be peaceful and restful, and I'll do it, but you'll have to help me." Believe it or not, in less than an hour, the project was done because the next door neighbor, teenager, brought me lots of motorbikes, cut-out motorbikes, and I just made a half globe using strips of chart paper, and marvelo, the motorbike wonder was ready. He was a hit with the children in my daughter's class, and she also was very thrilled. God's words are challenging sometimes, but they do have the power to change us. Because it was only when I was ready to take that word to heart, to give up my resentment, that I was able to move on. Let's spend some time meditating on this very special sketch done by a Spanish artist, Kiko Arguello. He's the co-founder of the NeoCat movement. And on the top he's written, "Come to me and I will give you rest." And if you notice, Jesus is carrying the cross, and right in the corner you can see the 3 crosses on the mount. So Jesus is inviting us to take up our own crosses of humility and to follow Him. He knows, He says, I know that you are burdened. I know that you feel caught in a trap. And He says, come to me. That's the first step. Every day, many times a day, and especially when we are feeling stressed. And once we have come to Him, He says, lay down your burdens and take mine. Lay down your anger, resentment, anxiety, fear, your needs also. He says, learn from me. Be humble. Be gentle. Be ready to suffer for love. You can spend some time today taking these 3 steps and experience the peace that comes from that. Now, if you're in a group or with your family, think of one burden that you're carrying that is causing you stress, and then share it with one another and pray for each other. So, bye from Family Faith Time. Remember these words of Jesus: come, unburden, and walk humbly.